Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters 1932.org.
Working in the margins. Dealing with our challenges, assessing needs, and finding solutions. Short-term, mid-range, and long-term. Solutions can find us working in the margins. Today's world is a tough baseline. It's more difficult than ever to just exist or get by. And it's not getting any easier. Moving forward in today's world has become both an art and a science. Food, clothing, temporary shelter, long-term housing, short-term jobs, temporary employment, or long-range careers. It all takes some help and finesse. Not everyone can do it. It's an art and a science. And let's face it, not everyone is a scientist. Some people need more help than others. The basics like reliable transportation, internet, laundry, a regular shower, even water, those basics we all take for granted. Electricity, these are the challenges of those caught in the net. Are homeless, unhoused, housing challenged, living in the margins. People of all ages, young, middle-aged, senior citizens, entire families, male, female, all reasons and all walks of life. Anyone can find themselves living in the margins. Homelessness and the challenges that go with it are not going away, and we can't ignore them. It's just too expensive. We've got to do better. Take the next step forward. Tune in now and listen to Working in the Margins with Zazetta Scott.
Good evening, San Bernardino. This is Shazette. Welcome to Working in the Margins. It's a little hot out there. Everything's on fire. It's just crazy. California is like doing the most right now. So let's keep our first responders in our hearts and prayers and thoughts. So tonight's guest, my first guest, is Terrence Stone from Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy. He is the CEO and the founder of this awesome nonprofit here in San Bernardino. I've known Terrence for a little while. We've worked in the same circles for a little while now. But the main thing we have in common is that we both belong to the Who Dat Nation. Who Dat say they can beat them Saints. And it's been, I haven't felt lonely out here in California because of Terrence. When I know that he's rooting our team on. We have mutual colleagues and friends and mentors. Another thing people probably know or may not know is Terrence is funny. He's a funny guy. He's got the best sense of humor, and he's the best event host that you could ever want to meet. Every event that I've gone to that Terrence has hosted is just always fun. He's a multi-talented young man. He's got a gifted business acumen, and he's president of the High Desert Black Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Terrence. Are you there?
I am here. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good, sir. How are you doing?
It's good. It's good to see you and in your element, doing your thing. I am impressed.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to have a seat at the table, and I'm sharing it with as many people as I possibly can. So welcome. And I know a lot about you. And then if anybody wants to, you can Google Terrence Stone and you can find out all about him. But he's something I want everybody to know is that you are a African American man that has devoted his career and his life to serving youth in the Inland Empire. And I say that because it's really important that we have role models for every culture, especially our young men. Sometimes it's hard for them to see themselves successfully in this community and working with people or nonprofits or social services. We don't make a whole lot of money in social services, but it's always worth the work. So let's get into it, Terrence. Tell me something about why you started Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy.
I started Young Visionaries. We actually started off in Ontario, California, as just a gang intervention program. even though it was called Leadership Academy, we kind of focused just on gangs. And the reason why we started in Ontario is because simply I lived in Ontario at the time.
Okay.
And then so I moved to San Bernardino, and so that's been our home base probably for the last 20 years or so in the city of San Bernardino. But the goal was just, I was an at-risk kid growing up to turn into an at-risk young adult. And so my goal is to let young people know that it does not matter your background. It does not matter the household you grew up in. It does not matter who raised you, what community you grew up in. Like you can do and be whatever you want to do and be in life. So I try to model that with our young people to let them know that, hey, man, you can make it. Let's just,
Right.
Just focus up and get it together.
Right. You do that so well. What makes Young Visionaries unique compared to other youth leadership programs?
You know what? I think one is our community outreach and engagement. We're not the type that sit in the office and wait for people to call us or come to us. Like, we're in the community. We'll figure out how to get to your community, those at-risk, hard-to-reach communities. We're popping up in there and things like that. But I think one of the things is, like, if we just get stuff done.
Right.
Funders can count on us, the community can count on us, our elected officials can count on us, because
Right.
whatever task that we set out to do, we're going to figure out how to make that happen, and be
Right.
devoted and dedicated to making that happen as well.
That's awesome. I know I see you all, you, your team, all over the county, in the high desert, down here in the valley. You have lots of programs. You have lots of incentive programs to help the community at large, not just the youth. We were at my team from the Coordinated Entry System Regional Hub. We were able to come and participate in a giveaway you had last week for the community. And
Yeah.
those things at that, right now, especially at this time, are really important. Tell me,
Yeah, we do every Thursday, but not every Thursday. I'm sorry. We were doing them every Thursday. We're doing the first Thursday of every month now.
right, and it's
I think
called
we
the
just-
Thankful
Thankful-
Thursday, right?
Thankful Thursday.
Right.
Yeah, we just hook
Right.
you up on
Right.
Thankful Thursday.
Right.
Ain't no
Yeah.
telling what you might get.
I
on
know,
Thankful
because it's
Thursday.
Amazon, so they just kind of like
Amazon. They plug us.
Yep, that's
they-
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think they like giving them to us because we make sure that we get that stuff like straight to the community.
Yes.
Like right there. Sometimes Amazon comes out and help give that stuff out.
Right.
I think the last one, IHP was there helping to give stuff out.
Right. Just
FSA,
that's
like
amazing.
everyone was there. Yeah.
yeah, I love when we partner and we collaborate. And my team had a good time, and we were able to offer some services about employment for reentry folks. So it just
Yeah.
as long as we stick together, we can get a lot done. Tell me, how has the support from San Bernardino County helped grow your organization?
Oh, tremendously. We're funded through San Bernardino County Department of Behavioral Health. And with that, we have our SMART program that stands for Successfully Motivating African Americans Through Resiliency Training. And so we work with African American kids throughout the county with that program. Then we've also been funded through the Department of Public Health as well, doing outreach for COVID. And then we also are funded through San Bernardino County probation as well too. So we have a plethora of different programs going into the institution, working with the young people through probation, then also working with them outside the institution as well.
That's amazing. What are some of the challenges you face while trying to grow Young Visionaries, and how have you overcome those?
Well, I think one, and probably most programs would have it, is just funding. It's always like that.
Yep.
And then and after COVID, it been just staffing as well though too.
Right.
People want to work from home and work from everywhere, but except for where they're supposed to be working at.
From the office,
So we
right.
Yes, so we
Yes,
try to work
yeah.
around that. But the
Right.
main thing is always is funding, so that we can keep the right staff in there, pay them what they should be getting paid. Like you said,
Right.
working in social services, that community, it's not a well-paid
Right.
community.
You're not
but
gonna
we
get
do
rich.
a lot of heartfelt work. Yeah, it's not a
Right.
get-rich community, but, we're out there doing the work. No
Right.
matter what that pay is, we're trying to figure out how to keep people in there and
Right.
and work directly with the kids, things like that. We're in almost 50 schools throughout the
Right.
Inland Empire. So we have to, have people staffed in all of those schools working
Right.
directly with those young people and things like that. So funding. But how we really get around that, or not even get around it, but just dealing with it. We just have to be frugal sometime in our spending and just doing more with less a lot of the time, basically.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll figure out how to work it out, and if
Yep.
you give us a number and some dollar amounts for the
Right.
people that we're supposed to work with, we try to
Right.
they work with
We have to
300,
get creative
bring in
sometimes. We
400.
got to leverage our dollars with other
Yeah.
agencies sometimes.
Yeah,
You
all
know?
the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have great community partners as well.
How do you choose which campuses that you're going to go on to or expand to? How do you find them?
Well, actually, they find us
Okay.
now. So we get calls all the time from schools that want our services on there, and then if we have the capacity to do it, then we're we'll send some staff over there and work with those kids to make it happen, basically. So
Okay.
schools really just reach out to us as far as working with them now.
And what does it look like for your staff to work on the campuses with the students?
Awesome. They so our staff we have great facilitators, right? They're
Okay.
group facilitators. They're certified community health workers and violence and gang intervention prevention workers, certified in doing drug and alcohol classes, gang intervention classes, delinquent behavior classes, and anger management classes, truancy classes, and things like that. So,
Oh, wow, that's a lot. Okay.
and we also have mental health specialists as well, though, too, and mentors on campus. So
Oh, wow.
what happens is that the schools will give us just 1 hour a week.
Okay.
So we're going to each school just 1 hour a week working with that group of kids. We'll usually have around 12, work with them with around 12 weeks. And then, and our thing is we call secure the bag, right?
Okay.
And so that's what we're working on with them. So the
Okay, I
bag
like
means
that. I like that. Secure
Yeah.
the bag. Right.
secure the bag, but bag is for them because they're still kids. Is we're working on secure their behavior,
Right.
their attendance, and their grades.
Oh, I love
right?
that.
So
Okay.
that's secure that bag. So we tell them if we can help you to get your behavior good, right, and get your attendance good, and then get your grades good, I said you can do anything because that's just
Anything.
life right there. Behavior will keep you in an environment that you want to be in. If you have
Right.
good behavior, you'll be able to stay there. Your attendance, show up to stuff. If you have a job or a career, show up, make
Right.
it happen.
Be
And
dependable.
grades is just what you get for doing all those other
Right.
two things well. If you
That's
do
like
those
your
things
pay.
well, your pay, your pay grade will go up. If you if you show up and you're doing what you're supposed to do 100%, hopefully you will get an increase in pay. Same thing in grades. You're doing that, your grades
Wow.
go up. So they learn how to secure that bag in
Yep.
school.
Themselves.
They secure that
Right.
bag as an adult.
That's amazing. I love that philosophy because it's you're teaching them to not only some life skills, some hard skills, soft skills, but how to invest in themselves and to think about,
Right.
what that means. I love that. Terrence, we're going to go to commercial real quick, and we're going to come back. I still have quite a bit of information I want to know from you, and the community does too. So thank you. We'll be right back.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377, extension 224.
KCAA.
Welcome back, San Bernardino. I'm having an awesome conversation with Mr. Terrence Stone. He's the CEO of Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy. And I am finding out all kinds of great information about what his program does. So we're just going to stick with it because I have some more questions. I hope I made a video earlier to promote the show, and I asked people to get their pens and pads ready because there was going to be some good information, resources coming out of this show tonight. So I hope they took my guidance. So Terrence, tell me, what are some upcoming projects or initiatives that Young Visionaries is working on?
Oh yeah. Well, we're very community oriented, right? So we have some fantastic things coming up with the community. We have coming up. We have our pumpkin patch. Mm-hmm. So we do that in collaboration with our good partners at Chic Shoes. And so they actually give out about 200-300 pumpkins to the kids. They can decorate them. They can do whatever they want. But we also have their vendor booths and pony rides and a petting zoo and things like that. And we'll have that downtown San Bernardino at our Community Resource Center.
Awesome.
And then Thanksgiving, we do 1,500 turkeys for families, for 1,500 families. So we're going to give those out in collaboration with our great partners at Community Action Partnership.
Awesome.
And we'll do that at our office over there at Community Action Partnership on Tippecanoe.
Right.
And then after that, Christmas, so we have a Winter Wonderland event.
Wow. You got the
we
whole
do
year
that.
set up. That's great.
Oh, yeah. No, we make our calendar. We do our calendar a year in advance. So we're already working on 20. So by the end of this year, we'll have our 2025 calendar of events, our galas. We have our galas in May. Last May, we had a mayor sneaker ball. So we honored the mayor of Fontana, Rialto, San Bernardino, and Victorville at the sneaker ball. It was fantastic. And the good thing about that, they're all women mayor. All women run all those cities.
Yes.
And so it was an honor to honor them because especially Rialto and Fontana's mayor, they've been giving me certificates and awards for years.
I know.
So it was finally good to be able to hand them something,
right?
And let them know that they are appreciated. Also with San Bernardino and Victorville as well. Both of them are freshman mayors.
Right.
They're still just doing a good job and making sure that their cities are moving in the right direction as well.
Right. And that's just good to build, city nonprofit collaboration across the region. We too, I live in Chino, and we have a female mayor, Eunice Uloa, and she's been our mayor for some time, and I've always appreciated it. And I know the other mayors, like Deborah Robertson and the Fontana mayor, Aquanetta, and they've just been stalwart leaders in our community for so long. So I want to tell folks, while I have this in front of me, the pumpkin patch that Terrence mentioned is Friday, October 18th, 2024, this year. It's from 5 to 8 p.m. The Thanksgiving giveaway is Saturday, November 16th, 2024, from 10 to 2. And then the Winter Wonderland is Saturday, December 14th, from 11 to 3. I have more details about that. Give me a call, 909-908-8053. I'll be mentioning this again a lot going into the future, closer to the events.
And trust me, those events are top-tier events for our communities, and let me tell you, this is why we throw fantastic events. We got really good at doing community outreach and engagement events like that. Because I remember growing up, I was thinking earlier, too, I should work on a book called Rich Mom, Poor Mom. Like Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right.
But I remember growing up, and my mother, I don't know if you remember, but I remember the free cheese and the
That's how we ate.
Butter. Mm-hmm. That's how we ate.
That's how we ate.
I hated going down there going to get it, though, with my mother.
I know. We was embarrassed.
Yeah.
We was embarrassed, but all our friends were there, too, which was crazy.
They was there, too, but they still bag on you at school.
Yep.
Like, I seen you out there.
That government cheese. You got government cheese.
Yep. and so we want to make sure that that as we're giving stuff to the community and commodities and things like that, that it's not an embarrassing situation.
Right.
So
right.
our events look like small carnivals almost.
Yes.
You know, and they just happen to leave with some food and snacks and stuff
Right.
like that. You know,
Right.
even our Christmas events, because our
Right.
lines get extremely long.
Mhm.
Any listeners, if I would urge you to sign up when we
Early.
start doing registration,
Mhm.
and you could find that on our website, yvyla-ie.org.
Right.
Because our lines, we'll have around 5,000 toys for kids.
Yeah.
Plus, too, our great partners at Chic Shoes, they for our teenagers, 13 and up, they
Oh.
hook them up with swag so they just get their shoe size. and-
Right, because we forget
shirt
about the
size,
older ones sometimes. They don't play with toys
Yeah.
anymore.
and they
Right.
don't want no basketballs.
Right.
You know, but shoes,
Right.
you know, they want some Crocs, they want Pumas and Adidas
Exactly.
and Nike.
Converse like
Yeah.
me. Yep.
And Converse, yeah, but Chic Shoes has all that. Plus, too, Adidas actually sponsors the snow out there as well too. So we bring snow so the kids
Oh.
can play in the snow, and they
Oh.
have sled.
Well,
fly down
shoot,
in
I
the
got to get to
sled
this
and
one.
play-
That sounds fun.
play in the snow. So and so
Yeah.
those free food. We have food trucks out there.
That's awesome.
This
It's
year, we
love.
also
I
have-
love that people can, you like you said, they're not embarrassed. They could leave with their dignity. They come, they
Yeah.
have a good time. Times are tough. I don't think we're being fatalistic to say that, but times are tough. Inflation is real, and that Christmas money you've been setting aside for, is not going to stretch as much as it did before. So, I remember being young, and my grandmother, she was like religious about it. We go to every resource fair, we see what they got, get you a bag too, baby, get you a bag too.
Yeah.
And I know she had all of us grandkids, but she had 10 children of her own too. And I'm like, that's how you make it. You have to, the resources are out there, so you have to go out and find them sometimes. And, we're going to do a soft pivot because we're still talking about youth. But you are running for Victor Valley Community College Board Area 3.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And I think that this is anybody who wants to get into that realm of work is college student, marginalized college students, youth. That's our jam. We're like 18 to 24. That's the ones that we want to capture and support because they're closer to taking over this world. So tell me something. How do you plan to serve or help serve the marginalized youth in the high desert through this seat?
Yeah, I think one thing they have to see someone that looks like them in leadership, right?
Yep.
They don't have anyone that looks like them in leadership as far as like that level of leadership for
Right.
Victor Valley Community College. And also, too, I know our African-American population, I'm looking out for all populations, but I know that our African-American population, their enrollment is low.
Right.
And then when they do enroll, them finishing school and graduating with their degree there is low as well, though, too.
Right.
So I just want to be there also to encourage and try to help to and pass policy on ways that we could figure out or even just give the president enough working room so that he'll be able to make sure that we can outreach to African American kids, think outside of the box,
Right.
take away some red tape if they have red tape in doing that,
Right.
and just figure out how can we get more kids enrolled, African American kids. And one thing about Victor Valley College, that's the fastest growing college I know in California, maybe in the United States as
Wow.
as far as community colleges are concerned. They're like number one right now.
Right.
So no one can say, I'm going to go there and I'm going to make the college grow. It has already grown, right?
Right.
We just have to keep up with the growth and figure out where we can find more dollars. And when I'm talking about dollars, I'm talking about in the hundreds of millions of dollars
Right.
so that we can support our kids that are there. Like we need more more buildings.
Right.
So
right.
then we might need more land for more buildings. I don't know how much land that the college owns right now, but we're going to need more space and just be able to accommodate all of those kids and young adults that we and adults too, people that want to come back to school. We have the college has. I keep saying we because I already know, but the college has a lot of trades.
Yeah.
They have trucking. They do trucking. They do forklift. They do all different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
But
trades.
I just want to be there to help to push that agenda, especially to our kids that aren't thinking that this college is not for them. I want to change that mindset and let them know, like, hey, this college is open for everybody.
Right.
And you're welcome
right.
as long as I'm here.
There's so many trade programs through the junior colleges. And they're creating more that coincide with the labor need in the county. They're offering public health degrees. I attend SBVC. I'm a lifelong student. I'm just going to keep going to school until I get every type of certification because it's affordable, and I feel that if we're going to keep growing and in this work things keep changing, then we need to keep learning. So I went and did a training. I'm a certified community health worker. I work with homeless folks basically on the street, but everybody's moving toward CalAIM money and, recuperative care. So I'm like, I got to get on board if I'm going to keep up with these folks, So, and junior, the junior colleges are awesome for that. Victor Valley College is, first of all, it's beautiful. It has a beautiful campus. And you're right. It is growing quick. It's growing very fast. I don't want to, go into all of your platform, but can you share any specific plans or ideas that you have for improving the opportunities at the community college level?
Yeah. But one, like facilities, I just want to make sure that we have that our facilities are accommodating everyone.
Right.
Also, too, I want to stand by our staff. I said, rich mom, poor mom. My biological mother was a school cafeteria. That was her last job. She worked at a school cafeteria. But then my godmother, Dr. Margaret Hill, she was she retired assistant superintendent of schools. She was her career was education, basically a teacher, principal, all the way up to deputy superintendent. And so from being around both of them, being in the upper room and down there in the cafeteria, and me not being a teacher but working in schools besides teachers, right next to teachers, I understand that they need those comfortable environments to teach their young people in their classroom. So I want to make sure the facilities are good. I want to support our staff, but also support all of the students that are there as well, though, too.
That's amazing.
Make sure that it's a comfortable learning environment. Even like when you mentioning the trade, what are they called in the courtrooms when they do the type in the stenographers?
The stenographers.
I think whatever. That trade right there, we're gonna. Victor Valley is going to start working on that if they don't have it already.
Yes.
But that, it's such a shortage there that they charge crazy prices because you have to pay now. If you have a court case, you have to pay for that person to be in there.
Right.
And if we don't find people that'll do it, they're going to figure out how to have AI do it and be able to have AI be in there just recording and typing up all that stuff real time.
Right.
And so, but we have to step into those trades. And let young people, I think they're making like about $4,500 a day or $3,000 a day or something like that.
Right. People they don't know because they don't explore or they don't keep up with the news. I read an article earlier today that San Bernardino is going to have a pilot program on paying jurors $100 a day. Because they can't get anybody to come and do it. People have we know how to make excuses now to get out of jury duty like pros. But so they're going to have to go up on what they pay in order just to entice people to want to come and do it. So they're paying thousands of dollars to get people in to do the work, like the stenographers for the day or for a trial.
Yeah.
So
Especially if you have one of those long Young Thug trials.
yes, yes. So we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, Terrence, I want you to give me a quote. I want you to tell me how you feel about this work with a quote. We'll be right back.
Oh.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
Welcome back, San Bernardino. I'm finishing up a great conversation with Mr. Terrence Stone. He's the CEO from Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy. First, Terrence, I want to say thank you for coming on. I want to also say thank you for being such a stalwart representative of our culture and our community. It's important that we see ourselves in our community at the highest levels of this work of government. It's really it's one of the reasons that I came to Family Assistance Program is because I saw diversity and I said, you know, they're interested, they're really trying. So I commend you. I look forward to continuing to work with you. But more importantly, your community appreciates you. And we thank you for staying in this community even when it's hard sometimes. So, brother man, give me a quote about how you feel about doing this work.
A quote, let me see. No, a lot of times we have African proverbs.
Yes.
But I'm going to give you a Japanese proverb.
Yes.
And that proverb is, it's the same life, whether we spend it laughing or crying. So whether they spend their life laughing about it or crying about it, it's the same
It's
life.
the same life.
Smile and laugh about it and be happy.
Right. Live your life, sir. That's perfect. Thank you again, Terrence. I appreciate you, and I'll see you around the way. Stay safe up there with these fires. You know, we kind of like right in the middle of it all. So, but stay safe out there and keep your people and your family safe. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, San Bernardino. So as I promised, I'm going to spend this next part of the show sharing resources with you. As we're kind of in a tough time right now in California. We got some shaking and some baking going on, and I've been like following some folks online, and I read messages, and mainly to keep up on what's going on with the fires and the bridge fire over off of I guess it started in Azusa back off Mount Baldy, and then the line fire, which started over in San Bernardino, and now it's been heading up the hill. But I wanted to share some resources because sometimes we get overwhelmed with everything that needs to be done, and we don't know where to start to look for the help. So I want to share that there are there's help. People out there. That's my quote. I'm going to tell you my quote first, and then we're going to go into the resources. My quote for tonight is from Mr. Rogers. I think we older folks, I don't know how many of the younger folks. Eric, you remember Mr. Rogers? Okay, good. Eric's kind of young, so that's good. So Mr. Rogers said, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. And to this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I'm always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world. And I thought that that was the perfect quote for tonight because, first of all, we want to thank our first responders. We want to thank our firemen. We want to thank our sheriffs. We want to thank the folks that are going into these hot spots and have been spending the last week or more in these hot spots. It's dangerous, it's dirty, it's smoky. And a lot of them are there to make sure that nobody else gets hurt, or to pull people out of their homes so that they don't get hurt. Sometimes they have a lot of stuff with them. Sometimes they don't want to go. So sometimes you're a therapist out there, you work in psychology to get these people, moved along the way, because even if they are going to be safe or feel that they're going to be safe, sometimes it's just important to get out of the way so that the first responders can get in. You don't want to be that person that's calling because you can't breathe and taking a first responder away from, putting out a blaze or helping another firefighter, that may have been injured. So sometimes it's just important to get out of the way. So in the high desert homeless shelter is open and taking some folks with pets, but they have to be small. They got to be like in a crate, or you have to be able to keep them with you. They just don't have the capacity to have large animals or livestock, but there are some other shelters that do. But if you're in the high desert and you're needing to evacuate or you need a place to stay, give a call to Jimmy Waldron. He's the CEO there, and his number is 760-420-6980. And again, that's High Desert Homeless Shelter in Victorville. It's like off of Amargosa. Jimmy Waldron, 760-420-6980. The other evacuation sites for the line fire are the SB County Fairgrounds in Victorville, the Jesse Turner Center in Fontana, and the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. And I believe that's where the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds, I believe, is where they're taking folks with like livestock. For the bridge fire, it's the same evacuation spots, but with the addition of the Pomona Fairplex. So I my last update about an hour and a half ago was that they were also taking folks there for evacuation. There's a kitchen called the World Central Kitchen. They're offering meals. They're off of Old Warm Springs in Lucerne. They're in Lucerne, Lake Elsinore, and Victorville. You can Google World Central Kitchen. They're offering meals to first responders and to people that have been evacuated, which is, that's a great help as we battle the blazes. And please pay attention to your, I have this app called Watch Duty that I follow. It seems to be pretty accurate, and it's keeping up pretty regularly. It's probably too much information. I'm trying not to drive myself crazy, but it's good to be aware, and especially if you have family that lives all throughout the Inland Empire, you like I do, then you want to, there's a fire also down in called the Airport Fire, and I think it's like down off of Trabuco Canyon. So we're just kind of like sitting in the middle of three good going fires, and the air quality is bad, and a lot of us are like program managers and directors and CEOs of agencies are having to accommodate staff with school closures and the kids that are off, and our teammates have to stay home, or like I personally, I have respiratory issues sometimes, and it's thick out here. The air is thick, and I felt like my chest was tight, and I'm like, can you imagine being homeless over in Paris Hill Park or Succumbi Lake or and you've been exposed to this with no choice of any place to go. You're in a tent and you're having to deal with this, with these conditions. So take care of yourselves, please. And if you need assistance, call 211. They are our coordinated entry system, entry point into the county. If you can call, if you need help or assistance or resources, call 211. And they do their darndest to get you the services or get you attached to some of the other coordinated entry hubs in the area that are still helping with intakes. So call 211. I believe that, I was watching the news earlier, and it was on KCAL News, and it was about the Inland SoCal United Way Wildfire Fund. I don't know any more details, or I can't share any more details about it because I just kind of saw a little bit, but the most important part, they said, was call 211. So I'll advise you to call 211 and ask about what that is, the Wildfire Fund, if you've been affected by the wildfire, and give a call to 211, and that's an easy number to remember, 211. Let's see. That's the fire stuff. I know some folks are probably stressed out and, dealing with all of this and not knowing, and some folks are, dealing with other things already in their lives, like addictions and psychology, issues and, mental health issues. And this is stressful. I have some boys with me here from Canada. They're hockey players, and they're here from Canada, and they just got here, and I'm like, man, this is not the best of us. This is not the best of California, guys. It's gonna be. They got here and it was like 105 degrees, and they were like, oh my God. And then we had earthquakes, and they were like, you guys are having. And I'm like, what is going on, California, that you are showing all yourself to them right now? I said, it's not always like this, And we also have some other things going on, like politically in the world that, can kind of get us a little stressed out. But help is there. We have a Department of Behavioral Health. They're having a recovery happens on Saturday, September 14th, from 3 to 8. It's at the 66er Stadium. It's going to be live music, foods and vendors and fun activities. It's like a free community fair. And it's to celebrate National Recovery Month and support individuals in recovery. Again, that's Saturday, September 14th from 3 to 8 at the Sixer Stadium. On Wednesday, September 18th, the Behavioral Health Department is also having a suicide prevention awareness, like a summit, Resilient and Real Summit. They have a great keynote speaker. I've heard him speak before, Noah Whitaker. That's Wednesday, September 18th, and it's from 8. Check-in begins at 8, and it starts from 9 to noon. And it's at the Epic Event Center in Rancho Cucamonga. If you want more information, give me a call, 909-908-8053. There's a QR code. I'm looking at, I don't know, you can kind of see it, but there's a QR code. But I'll happily send you the flyers. Here in San Bernardino, we have St. John's Community Health. They have a homeless services program. And it's at their health center at 1500 North Waterman. They have a beautiful facility. I've gotten to go there. I've been able to go there a couple of times. We've worked with some folks there. Wonderful facility. They have all of the services. case management, linkage to medical, behavioral, substance abuse. It's all in-house. They have employment services, transitional housing, shelters, food resources. They have a community closet if you need clothes, and that's through again St. John's Community Health Center is 1500 North Waterman Avenue. Their phone number is 909-898-7235, extension 7414. If you can't remember that, just give me a call. They also have, St. John's also has a RISE program. It's the Reentry Integrated Services Engagement and Empowerment. It's for people who have been impacted by the judicial system, justice involved people. They have peer community health workers who, to help folks that are trying to transition back into society, back into the community. And you get somebody that'll help you with that. They have all kind of reentry support services. They could do IDs and benefits. They have a legal clinic. They have intensive case management. They have medical services, screenings for all chronic medical conditions. They do COVID testing. If you don't have insurance, they'll help you get enrolled in insurance. They have behavioral health services, dental services. This place is fire, it's a bomb. Dental services, comprehensive dental exams and deep cleanings. They have HIV prevention and care services, testing, medical care, support services, and they have a drug assistance program, and they have transgender health program. One of the only community health programs, that has transgender health program, and they referrals to transgender advocates, legal support. They assist with the name change or gender marker changes, trans-specific services, hormone replacement therapy, and referrals for gender conforming surgeries. So they are committed to providing excellent service here in our community. So give them a call. Again, they are San Bernardino, St. John's Community Health at 1500 North Waterman, and their number is 909-898-7235. I'm going to always mention the HIRE program, Career Services through Family Assistance program, is for reentry justice involved youth aged 18 to 24. They get case management, supportive services, transportation. They can get help with clothing, emergency clothing, housing, navigation, food, access to work clothing, things like that. So I'm always going to mention that. Give us a call at 760-261-2607. And that's if you're looking for work. And you've been justice involved, or somebody that's coming out of the system. They're letting a lot of folks out of the prisons. They're going to be shutting down prisons. So, and it's like mandatory. It's conditions of release for these folks, for these ex-mates when they come out to get work and to find jobs. So there's lots of programs, lots of agencies that have the HIRE program. Or the WHO program that helps with employment for justice-involved people. Let me go back. I wanted to, if you need food, I know your kids, or some of these kids, the schools closed down. So some of these kids had to stay home, and I'm sure that a lot of us depend upon them free lunches and free breakfasts at school, so, to manage our grocery bills and things like that. But when they home, and they bored, they want to eat everything up. So I want to direct you to Community Action Partnership. Google it, Community Action Partnership, or CAPSBC.org, CAPSBC.org. On that website, it's going to say food resources or food distributions. And there are food distributions They're USDA food distributions throughout the whole county, up the hill, Victorville area, and even down here. So go on capsbc.org and look for those. And there's a lot of them, a lot of food distributions. It's like every day. I don't ask for the criteria, though, okay, because I'm not exactly sure. We're going to take one more break. And when I come back, we're going to close up this episode, and I'm going to tell you about who my guest is going to be next week.
Was your car involved in an accident or just need help with dents? All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers. In business for over 30 years, their highly trained staff and certified technicians and friendly staff are the best in the business and treat each car as if it was their own. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers are family owned and offer state-of-the-art equipment and tools to ensure optimum results. They use the latest technology in computerized color matching and specialize in frame repairs. With their modern laser measuring systems, they're OEM certified, and they have 4 locations to serve you. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers offer rental car assistance with free drop-off and pickup services too, and their work has a lifetime guarantee. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers are in Norco, Eastvale, Moreno Valley, and in Fontana. Call them at 1-800-61-MAGIC. That's 1-800-61-MAGIC. All Magic Paint and Body Collision Centers. 1-800-61-MAGIC. All Magic Paint and Auto Body says, drive carefully.
Welcome back. Welcome back, San Bernardino. It's the smoke, I'm telling you. Welcome back, San Bernardino, to Working in the Margins. I'm Shazette, your host. And I'm going to wrap up the show here. We only got a couple of minutes. But next week's guest is Jim Bolus. He's from Family Assistance Program, and he's the program manager for a project that we have called Stop the Hate. And it's to help and support victims of hate crimes and bullying. It's an amazing supportive program, and I can't wait for him to share all the details with us next week. Again, that'll be Jim Bolus, and he's the program manager for our Stop the Hate program. Lastly, I want to say thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for all of you who've been watching the podcast through the YouTube. I enjoy doing this show. What I enjoy most is bringing you resources to hopefully help in our regular everyday lives. Just get through and not, time. Like I said, times are tough. We're not going to be fatalistic about it, but we're gonna utilize the resources that are out there. There's people that have resources and they want to help, so we're gonna let them help us. And my best to all of you in the danger zone of the fires. And I hope you all stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you next week. Thank you.